What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. All right, so this is something I've seen trend on social media. I've seen the discussion of it intensify over the day, over, especially when it comes to not just sites that primarily speak on, uh, you know, intergalactic, uh, you know, issues or things dealing with space. I'm seeing it starting to trend on sites that generally talk about politics. And I have a theory about some of this stuff. But anyway, if you haven't heard, scientists have discovered an interstellar object that, matter of fact, it is only the third interstellar object that has been observed to have entered our solar system, confirmed. And they're calling it 31 Atlas. Now, right now, they are identifying it as a comet. Now, if you look at that photo on the bottom left, right, it's the rainbow colored object, right? Now, some scientists are saying that they believe that it is a comet that's traveling at about 135,000 miles per hour. It has the diameter of approximately 12 to 15 miles, which would make it about, at this time at least, according to estimations, about the size of Manhattan. It's also being identified in that other photo that you see on the bottom right, circle. Now, Harvard astrophysicist A.V. Loeb has proposed that 31 Atlas could be an alien spacecraft. He argues that its unusual trajectory and speed might indicate it is not just a natural comet, but possibly a piece of extraterrestrial technology. The object's path takes it close to planets like Venus, Mars, and Jupiter, which raises questions about its purpose. Loeb suggests it could be observing Earth or deploying surveillance technology. While Loeb's theory has sparked interest, most scientists believe 31 Atlas is a typical icy comet. They emphasize the need for caution in interpreting its characteristics as signs of alien technology. Now, when you look for a comet, according to the information I'm looking at right now, it says the first thing you do is look for a tail. Comets typically have a tail. Checking for this could help confirm its identity. Radio emissions. Scientists could search for any radio signals that might indicate communication from an intelligent source. Electrostatic discharge. Observing for signs of electrostatic discharge could provide further clues about the object's nature. While the idea of 31 Atlas being an alien spacecraft is intriguing, the prevailing view among scientists is that it is likely a natural comet. And the ongoing discussions and investigations will help clarify its true nature as it approaches its closest point to the sun, which will be, I think, in November. And then you have some articles that say that this 31 Atlas comet slash interstellar object or alien craft could be poised to land on Earth, if it is destined to come here, sometime between late November and early December of this year, right? And that's what I'm seeing pushed a lot now. I'm seeing quite a few articles, and I'm talking about articles in the mainstream, not YouTube videos, although I am seeing YouTube videos talk about it. I'm seeing articles pushing that, right? And that, to me, doesn't sound like something you normally see. Usually, mainstream news articles, they tend to, be the voice of reason. They're not pushing propaganda Well, yeah, they do push propaganda, but in these situations, let me rephrase that. They do push propaganda. We know that the media push propaganda, but in these types of situations, right, usually news media is more responsible than this. So it leads me to one conclusion, right? And the conclusion that I'm coming to right now is that I think a lot of this shit is a distraction from Epstein. I know that sounds kind of ridiculous, but I don't think a lot of people understand the actual scope of what the Epstein files indicate and who is involved and how shook that shit really has a lot of people. Like, they really don't want us focused on that shit. They want us focused on nonsense. Like, an alien spacecraft coming to kill us all. They would rather panic the populace with that nonsense rather than have us focused on finding the truth out when it comes to who these creeps are. You know? And or, I don't even want to think of the worst case scenario. The worst case scenario could be, I mean, these people could be so desperate, those who are in control, that they, I don't even want to say this on YouTube. I'm not even going to say it on YouTube. But at this point in time, that's pretty much what I'm thinking. I don't think there's any goddamn. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there are aliens that are looking to, and that's the thing too. That the biggest, I think one of the biggest clues that this is bullshit is when you look at different articles and it says hostile alien probe. How would you know it's hostile? What makes it hostile? For all we know, aliens could be like fucking Alf. Aliens could be just like us. At this point, I mean, if we have become this relatively civilized, why is it that we tend to think of other life forms as so so animalistic and barbaric? Do we have reason to even feel that way, considering all the shit we've done and continue to still do? But at the end of the day, if it is aliens, let's say this shit is real aliens, which I don't believe, but if it is aliens, then I don't want to hear no more about man has never been on the moon. I don't want to hear that shit no more. And by the way, just another thing about people who don't believe that man been on the moon, and they said that the whole thing was a Hollywood production and all that, right? Wouldn't it have just been cheaper to send astronauts to the moon than to go through a whole spiel about creating this grand production or this Hollywood production of faking it? Wouldn't it have just been less expensive to just send the motherfuckers to the moon? I mean, I don't know, man. It's just a lot of shit just whatever. I ain't getting into that today. But yeah, I don't trust this shit, y'all. It's either this is a distraction to the Epstein situation or attempted distraction from us to get the fuck off the Epstein shit, or even a veiled threat, which is what I was kind of leaning toward, but I didn't want to go into specifics on YouTube. Or this could be a way to scare the American people or people in general or the world into funding some sort of global defense mechanism. Remember that shit that Ronald Reagan was into, Star Wars? Remember he thought that the world should have some sort of interstellar galactic defense system but we just didn't have the technology in the 1980s to do it. Well, here we are 40 years later, and we're approaching the time period where we do have the technology to have these types of things done. Maybe it's a way of just scaring us into, sending more of our tax dollars into some bullshit. And what's to say, especially with these evil bastards in office, they might pull some false flag operation shit. Where Lord, isn't there evidence to suggest that aliens have been part of our civilization for centuries? We know about the Roswell incident in 47, right? They don't want anybody near Area 51. So what's to say, like I've said this before, all these so-called alien or UFO sightings, what's it to say that it hasn't been purposeful? What's it to say that the aliens that we're seeing, or these UFOs that we were seeing, have purposely been put out by our American government via Area 51 just for test sightings, or excuse me, just to test out the maneuverability of this technological, advanced mechanisms. But to throw off the public, they'll say, "Oh, well, there's been a sighting of a UFO by some crackpot." But yeah, what's it to say? We don't have that technology. We have the technology, and we just use an excuse to fund some other bullshit. I don't know. I'm just throwing shit out there. But anyway, tell me what you guys think.